Double homicide suspect shoots himself in the chest with a shotty when he's being approached by the police. Last night, there was a double homicide in Sacramento on Howe Avenue where 2 women were unalived. The police identified who he was, and they was tracking him, so most likely by his cell phone. So hey, make sure that you save this video, hit the plus sign so you can follow me, and then share this video, and also comment if you heard anything about that double homicide or this incident in Arden Fair Mall today. So the sheriff's SWAT team was out there looking for this guy. He went into the AT&T store, came out, and then they ended up trying to arrest him, and then that's when he pew-pewed himself in the chest. They gave him some life savings measures, and so at the time of the press conference, he was still alive. So hey, make sure that you watch this press conference. It's coming up after this. It's a kind of a long one because the sheriff's department and the police department give their take on the incident, but you got to watch it till the end because they give some good information. Don't forget to save this video and to hit that plus sign so you can follow me.
I'm gonna go ahead and start off with my name first. Sergeant Marcus Vasquez. First name. Hold on. Sorry. First name Marcus. Last name B as in boy. Asquez. Sergeant with the Sacramento Police Department. Today, just after 12 o'clock, our officers were dispatched to a call of the 1400 block of Exposition regarding a possibly armed suicidal subject. Our officers responded to the area. We're checking the area. When we were advised by the Sacramento County Sheriff's Department that they also were in the area and were assisting in looking for this possible subject. At which time I'm going to go ahead and pass this off to Sergeant Gandhi. That was essentially our part.
Do you have any questions for them?
Any questions? You want to just do questions at the end, or?
Since you're mic'd up, I mean, overall, Arden Fair Mall, is this your area, the Sacramento Police Department's area? The fact that it's happened around so many people, customers, businesses, the impact, what can you tell us about that part of it?
Correct. So obviously, Arden Fair Mall is a part of a business district in the city of Sacramento, jurisdiction and city limits. And so that's why we were initially dispatched and responded to this call.
And were you able to see this subject? And once you spotted this subject, is that when you...
I don't have that information. This is still an ongoing investigation in regards to what we actually saw and what the sheriff's reported. So that's still part of the investigation.
I'll have most of that.
So okay, and I'll just ask you this, and then maybe I don't. So are you going to be talking about the fact that this subject was shot, or is that the sheriff's department?
I'll hit all
the
that.
sheriff's department. All right. Good. Okay.
Okay, so Sergeant Mark Gandhi, spokesman of the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office. Go in there. No. Thank you. All right. Yep. So it's actually is related to the homicide from earlier. I'll kind of recap that. So last night about 10:40 p.m., our deputies responded to a shot spotter activation, 2-round activation at the apartment complex on 1100 Howe. We also received several 911 calls. From there, deputies discovered 2 females that were shot. Both were actually declared deceased at the scene. So from there, obviously, a homicide investigation ensued. It's been going on all day, all night. Detectives were able to identify 32-year-old Ricky Hunter as the suspect. They were able to, again, work up all the information they needed, obtain an arrest warrant for both homicides for him. From there, detectives were able to track him to this area right here. Obviously, this falls under Sac PD's jurisdiction. This is where that collaboration comes in, working seamlessly with our partnering agencies, that they were also responding to a similar type call of what we were going to. So very seamless in terms of that portion of it. From there, deputies spotted him inside the AT&T store back here. Rather than try to apprehend potentially armed subject inside the store with a lot of people, waited for him to actually get inside of his car, tried to arrest him inside the car. From there, he actually grabbed a shotgun, turned it on himself, shot himself in the chest. From there, deputies were able to, again, pull him out of the car, administer first aid, administered a chest seal, actually saved him. So as of right now, he is still alive from our last update, was transported to the hospital, and that's where we are right now.
I'm curious about I'm not asking you to speak for the police, but they described him as a suicidal. Right. So they described him as a suicidal subject. You guys didn't describe him that way. You described him as a homicide suspect. At what point did you guys determine, or did you determine he was suicidal?
I never said anything about suicidal. Those are your words. No, I don't. And I mean, a lot of speculation could be led to that. But again, that investigation is still very much in its infancy. We were able to, again, the big part is able to establish who he was and obviously where he was. But we don't have kind of why he was there. Still kind of working on what led up to the murder in the first place. A lot of good investigations. These guys are the best in the business. They don't mess around. Like I told you in many other interviews, if you're wanted for something by the sheriff's office, we're going to find you and question you.
What about the fact that this happened in a very high traffic area? Obviously, customers.
Kind of touched on that already. He was inside a store waiting for him to get in.
You indicated that there was a gunshot wound to himself. It sounded like I was here in person. It sounded like possibly there was 1, 2, or 3 pops of potential gunfire. Are you aware of any others, or just the
what?
Just the one?
Self-inflicted.
Okay.
Yeah, no shots fired from any of our personnel.
Do we know if he's related to the victim shot at the apartment complex last
Yeah,
night?
he is actually the suspect. Our detectives identified. A warrant was issued for both of them, or for both of those homicides related directly to him. So he was our suspect. He was our bad guy. Not the ending we wanted. We'd much rather have just taken him into jail peacefully and have him answer in court. But again, we are just beholden to the suspect's actions. So we can only react to what they do. We can only give them an opportunity.
And what's the next step in the investigation right now for you guys?
Well, a lot's still left to be done. I mean, again, they're still in the fact of trying to establish a motive. Of course, we've got to see his condition and how that goes. So still a lot to be done very early on. But at least right now, public can rest assured the person responsible for that double homicide is at least accounted for.
How long were you guys tracking?
When the warrant was issued.
Did you get the name and the ages of the
No, not yet. And a lot of that's still pending the next notification, and that'll be done by tomorrow.
As of right now, do you know if there's no correlation between double homicide, this,
I don't know anything about the K Street shooting, but definitely, obviously, between here and 1100 Howe, this is the guy who killed those 2 ladies.
Do you know the condition that he's in right now?
He is alive, from what we know, and they are working on him in the hospital. So, as of right now, last update just a few minutes ago, he is alive. Ultimately, I mean, we do want him to survive. We want him to answer in court for his actions. And again, only he really knows kind of what led up to all this.
just to clarify, there was only one shot that fired from the hit?
Correct, yeah. There was not an officer involved shooting by any stretch. One shot fired at himself. Shot.
And how many deputies were on the scene here tracking?
A lot.
And you wouldn't classify it as a suicidal subject? That's what you said, right?
I didn't say anything about suicidal. I know he is a homicide suspect. That's why we're here. He had a warrant issued for both of those homicides. That's what we're tracking. All right. Any questions? All right. We're going to be out here for a little while, obviously. So anything else, just hit me up. All right.
You said 32-year-old, right?
32-year-old.
I do have
We'll put out a if we have a previous mugshot.